to do a deep dive. He's talked about all the people he wants to go down and testify, including those people who signed off on the FISA warrant to wiretap Carter Page. And then you've got Michael Horowitz. You think that IG report's going to be done in the next couple of months? Where's John Huber?
I don't know. I do know that Bill Barr has reoriented John Huber based on the work that he had been doing during the Sessions Department of Justice. My sources tell me that Bill Barr has spent some time with John Huber and redirected him on the FISA abuse issues, which are very real. Again, how was a fake, phony dossier that was unverified verified to the FISA court? That was the basis to spy on Carter Page, someone who wasn't charged with collusion, obviously. Again, all of these things go to questions about where was the probable cause to do all of that. These are things that we do need to be looking at. On the other side, a lot of my Democratic colleagues want to continue to investigate this matter. That is a bunch of garbage. If Bob Mueller, with the benefit of 19 federal prosecutors, 40 FBI agents, no limits in time, no limits in cost, no limits to his resources, couldn't find evidence of collusion or obstruction, how in God's green earth are Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, Elijah Cummings, and a bunch of House staffers going to find what he couldn't? Stop wasting our time.
Yeah, and money, $25 million spent on the special counsel investigation. Adam Schiff is still out there talking about collusion in plain sight, Congressman. Collusion beyond any shadow of a doubt, more than circumstantial evidence. It leads you to the question that must be asked: should Adam Schiff step down, given the fact that he has massively misled the American people for 2 years going, as has people like John Brennan, who went on CNN and said the president committed treason? Well,
the Democrats overplayed their hand here. They've dug a pretty big hole for themselves, and Adam helped dig that hole. I'm not going to be the one to take the shovel out of his hand at this point in time. I think the Democrats need to look at this. The chairman of the most coveted committee in the House, the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, is someone who accused the president of crimes, who said he had evidence of those crimes, who said he thought the president would end his first term in jail. His ability to govern the Intelligence Committee, his credibility in calling investigations going forward is very much in question. The Democrats need to take a hard look at that and hold their own people accountable. Will they, though, Congressman? I mean, look, you are a federal prosecutor. Were laws broken? Well, I was a federal prosecutor. I did allege crimes. I don't do that anymore. I will say this. Based on everything I see, that I have seen, there is more than ample evidence for a grand jury to consider the conduct of people that were involved in these investigations into Donald Trump, whether or not their actions constitute crimes. They should be judged the same as anyone else, but that information should be presented to a grand jury, because very clearly, at a minimum, we have conduct that flies in the face of every protocol and procedure at the Department of Justice and the FBI, and I certainly hope that those steps are going to be taken by the current Justice Department. And you're talking about people like Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, who were obviously biased in their texts about the president and who launched this investigation with no predicate. There was no evidence, no predicate to launch an investigation into Donald Trump and his campaign and potential collusion with Russia, correct? That is correct. And when the president ultimately, hopefully, declassifies some of the documents that I've had the benefit of seeing that the American people haven't, I think that'll be borne out for everyone to see, and it will be in plain sight.
And what do you think is going on in Jim Comey's universe or his mind to first write an op-ed over the weekend saying to the New York Times, oh, I don't really care what happens with the Mueller probe. Excuse me, you were the director of the FBI, so you knew darn well that it was flimsy evidence that you took to the FISA court to get a warrant to spy on somebody. You also knew darn well that you had the word from above, from the DOJ, who told you, yeah, you've got two investigations going on side by side, one about Trump, one about Clinton and her email investigation, but stay off of the Clinton investigation. We're not charging anything. Let's talk about that for a second. Was this Obama's DOJ politicizing all of these agencies and basically making the decision not to prosecute Hillary Clinton, even though the FBI wanted to charge her with gross negligence?
Well, to the first point about the op-ed that Jim Comey said he didn't care, people need to be reminded that Jim Comey's the one that created the special counsel. He's the one that launched that. So, I think that that's something very clearly that everyone needs to remember. Right.